Today, I'm going over the 4PC NGK Iridium IX spark plugs made for the Mazda Miata 1.8 liter. You will find a link to purchase this and other models at a discount in the description below the video. You can place your order right now. I'm showing the screen instead of the actual parts because things didn't line up for filming, but the info here should still help if you're thinking about using these plugs on an older Miata. When you look at these NGK Iridium IX plugs, the first thing that stands out is the fine-tip iridium center electrode.
Did you know that the best discounts on Amazon last only a few hours? That's why I launched 2 channels where I publish the highest discounts on Amazon products in real time every day. Follow the link in the description and subscribe to our Threads and Telegram channels right now to consistently save money on your everyday purchases.
Thin, stable, and usually fires cleaner than the basic copper plugs that many Miatas still run. The design aims for a quicker spark and steadier burn. And that does matter on a car that's decades old and often a bit picky about ignition parts. The shell and threads look solid, and the insulator has the same tight ceramic finish NGK is known for. The big draw with these plugs is consistency. Older Miata engines sometimes get a rough idle or random hesitation, especially when the existing plugs are worn or mismatched. These plugs tend to help smooth that out. They don't transform the car, but they usually make startup easier and throttle response a bit sharper. The spark stays stable even when the engine gets hot, and the iridium tip holds up longer than copper. Heat range here matches what the Miata 1.8 liter wants for normal driving. They don't run hotter or colder than stock in a noticeable way. If your car is lightly modified, like intake and exhaust, they still do fine. For forced induction, some people prefer different heat ranges, but for stock or mild setups, these are the common go-to choice. Installation is simple as long as you don't rush it. A lot of Miata owners run into issues from over-torquing or cross-threading, not from the plugs themselves. These come pre-gapped, but it's still smart to check the gap before installing, since even good plugs can shift slightly during shipping. Once installed right, they usually stay clean for a long time and don't foul easily unless there's an underlying engine issue. One thing that doesn't get talked about much is how these plugs behave when the rest of the ignition system isn't perfect. If your coils or wires are old, you may not get the full benefit. These plugs can only do so much if the spark is weak before it even reaches them. But when the system is healthy, the difference is noticeable in smoother cruising and better response at low RPM. Some users mention that iridium plugs feel overkill for a simple Mazda from the 90s, but the long life alone usually justifies them. You don't need to swap them out often, and they hold their performance over time instead of fading fast like cheaper plugs. If you daily drive your Miata or want a set and forget option, these fit that role pretty well. There aren't many downsides. The main one is price compared to copper plugs, but that's expected with iridium. And if you're chasing high-end performance gains, these won't give you dramatic changes. They're more about stability and long-term reliability. If you want a smooth idle, better ignition consistency, and less frequent plug changes, they're a solid pick. If you already maintain your Miata well, you'll probably feel the improvement right away. If this helped, hit like and subscribe for more straightforward reviews.